Everybody, it's Chrissy Rich. I'm just here and I had another experience. I'm kind of doing a video a day, if you haven't noticed, and I try to do Facebook Live, but for whatever reason, it's not working, so here we are. Went to my yoga class today, got all sweaty, and I had this really kind of sucky, but also really good experience at the same time. I was standing there and they have like mirrors everywhere, you know, in yoga. And you're sitting here and you're doing these poses and you're dripping sweat and you look really nasty. You don't look nasty, you just look sweaty. So I'm in these poses and I'm just like getting this, like this massive bombardment of negative thoughts. Like seriously, like the rudest possible things you could possibly imagine saying to somebody was what was going into my head about myself. Like I could care less about like the people in the room, right? Like I was like not judging them. It was more just like, oh my gosh, I look like an idiot, or I look so fat. Look at those rolls. Like, I can't believe you let yourself go that far. Like, and they actually got a lot worse than that, but I will just leave it to your imagination. You guys know the thoughts I'm talking about, right? So here we are, and I'm in this class, and all of a sudden I look in the mirror and I just told them, I'm like, shut up, like get out of my head. I do not need you in my head right now because like this is not helping me. And so I was trying to flood that with light and accept and love myself in that moment. And so then we did this like hip opening exercise, which totally like made me cry. I felt like just kind of silly, but no one knows you're crying because you're so sweaty. And I got in my car and the floodgates opened. I was just crying and bawling because I just felt like, God, I just don't want to feel this way about my body anymore. Why can't I just feel love for my body all the time? Like, why does it have to be so conditional? Why is it that I can only feel love for my body if I reach this certain weight, or if I'm doing certain things, or, you know, if I was really good on my diet? Like, why am I creating all of these different parameters around this love that I get to feel for myself? And as I was pondering that question, I started doing some tapping, which EFT is really an awesome tool. It's where you use the meridian points of your body, kind of like the emotional side of acupuncture. And I start tapping and I start going through these things in my mind that can help me to release this emotion. Sorry, something just popped up on my phone and totally distracted me. Anyways, I started going through different triggers. And one of the triggers for me, and I wrote this down, is when I feel like I'm seeking approval from other people, that's when I give my power away. And that's when it feels really bad, right? And then it's like, oh, come on, will you please like love me? Like tell me I'm worth it. Tell me I'm good enough. Tell me I'm this, tell me I'm that. And it's looking from those outside sources who are your friends, your family, your spouse. And like that never works because it will never fill that cup. You will constantly be seeking and searching and trying to like fill that void with things that just do not fill the void. And so when I feel like I'm in my power, it's really a different experience because I'm not focused on my weight or my size or the things that I was eating today. Granted, those all do play a role in how you feel because it does chemically alter your body structure and your state of mind. But you can still, you can eat certain things and still feel good depending on your state of mind and how the meaning you're giving to it. And one of the things that I noticed was when I feel like I'm serving other people, I feel happy. I feel good about myself. But then if you go a little bit deeper, like if you constantly have to be serving somebody to feel good about yourself, then the minute you're not serving somebody, you feel bad. And so making sure that everything we do is good enough. And even things we don't do, like you could literally sit there like a bump on a log and do nothing and just like hang out and do whatever. And you're still valuable. You're still like this perfect expression of God's love. And that's what I wanted to share with you today, is that sense that who you are is more important than the size of your body and your paycheck and the amount of friends you have and all those different things. And all of that love that we're seeking comes from God. And when we go to the right source for that love, it feels good. When you try to reach outside of that source, that's when we get into trouble. And that's when we get into addiction and things that are trying to fill that need. that cannot be filled by anything but his love. And oh, there were so many cool things this morning. Oh, I even thought about, Tony Robbins. I was talking to my mother-in-law about this. He's a big dude. Like, he is not a small guy. His hands are like, can palm like a basketball. Like, he's massive. And yet he doesn't let that get in the way of doing the things that are so amazing and helping people and serving people. So regardless of those issues that come into our minds, we have the power to change those. And I wanted to share that with you because a lot of times I have these really cool, awesome moments. And this morning was not one of them. It was one of those moments where I guess it did turn out to be awesome because I found the good in it. Imagine that. So finding the lesson, finding the love. And so accepting myself, loving myself, honoring my body where it's at for what it can do, not what it can't do and what it doesn't look like that yet. And focusing on those things and focusing on who can I love? Who can I serve? How can I love myself? How can I experience that in my life? So I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I think that's all I wanted to share because it's just, yeah, pretty cool. Love yourself unconditionally. Don't put parameters on the love that you can offer yourself and the love that you offer other people, because when you do that, it creates and it sets up this lie. And trying to achieve something in order to feel love is a trap. It's a trap that we get into because we think once we get to this certain place, then we can feel good. That's one of the reasons I actually enjoy Zumba so much, because like when you're shaking and you're dancing and you're like getting all into it, you're not thinking about anything but how good it feels to be in your body. And there's so much gratitude involved. I mean, sometimes you might feel goofy because you don't know the moves, but you really start to feel it. So that's what I did is I did some tapping, right? And I did this script that helps release. It's from Feelings Buried Alive, Never Die. Go look it up because it's amazing. And then I also did some really good music, turned on, got my little jiggle dance thing on, and just find those things that help trigger you and get you back. Oh, okay. And then I also texted a bunch of my friends who are either have achieved their goals or they've been working towards those things, mentors, and just said, hey, would you give me some support in this? What can I do to shift my emotions? Tell them those things. So having your support group is really important. Have a great day, everybody. I hope that you learned something. I feel like I want to post all these different ideas that I'm having and these experiences because they'll be good for somebody. Maybe it's you.